I always thought I could make it work. I can always fix it. I can get it back together, get him on his feet. But death has a way of telling you it's over. I want to do something, but there isn't a damn thing I can do. And at the time, I had started to learn to carve. And I just found myself here in my studio, quiet, no music, windows open, just carving faces until I didn't want to carve that particular face anymore, and I put it aside. I looked up, and there was about 50 of these heads looking back at me. And you don't have to be a psychiatrist to go, that's a little excessive. When I looked at all these heads and I said, I would love to bring awareness to addiction, and maybe other local artists would be interested in taking these heads, creating a piece of art, and we can put on an exhibition or we can do something. And that was a cathartic feel for me, right? So here I am, Mr. Hopeless, doing something that maybe is hopeful.
For me, glass has become my zone, so to speak. It allows me to cancel out the outside noise and the struggles or challenges that I've gone through. When I first thought about this collaboration, I immediately thought of hands. Our hands are vehicles, and they can be used to create or to destroy. The phrase that kind of popped into my mind with this was, idle hands are the devil's workshop. For me, finding glass has kept my hands anything but idle. Addiction has been a part of my life from an early age, and it began with my father. He was involved in gangs at a very early age, and with the gang and street lifestyle, drugs are a heavy part of it. He was the eldest of his generation and led his younger male siblings down this same path. Throughout that process, he lost 3 of his younger brothers, and for a long time I thought I would be following in their footsteps. Fortunately, I found glass, and that kind of started to help me navigate some of the inner workings, some of the traumas or things I never really faced head on. That's kind of been my personal addiction since. With this project and its overall theme, I feel that I'm going to be able to share my voice and hopefully impact others in a meaningful way.
Gosh, I remember as early as when I was 12 years old, I remember having what I could consider suicidal ideation, just being so depressed and so down and anxious. And at that age, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I didn't want to wake up. There was a period about 3.5 years that were the worst for me as far as drinking. I was drinking really hard and heavy all the time. So I thought that would be a good mental source to draw from. This is who I've become, and it's not something I liked or not someone I was proud of. The process of making it was, creating, and it felt good. It felt really good to do. It was very, very cathartic. I enjoyed that very much. So that was a piece of the here and now. So in the future, yeah.
I don't have a lot of pictures of my brother because when you grow up in a home that's dysfunctional or there's alcoholism or drug use, stuff gets discarded or you just don't know what happened to anything. So I do have a couple of pictures, and this was a picture that I had when he was traveling also around California. It shows his bandana, but I had used this picture for his funeral, and it has kind of a crazy song on it. It's Ozzy Osbourne, but it's saying that I'll see you on the other side. Just hard to think about someone being so young. And I guess I couldn't cope with it, so my way of coping with it was saying, I'll see you on the other side. People that do have addiction problems are not bad people. They do a lot of great things, and everyone has a story. And so I saw this as a chance to really communicate that to people, which I didn't have a chance to do that 20 years ago. When Nick asked me to do this, I went to the studio and I picked up one of the carved heads, and I couldn't believe that I was going to get to be a part of this because it's just such a magnificent thing that he's doing. When I was working on the piece, it just came to me right away. It's almost as if my brother was there in spirit and helping me make it. And so I started off with the wheel, and then I found a bandana. He was always famous for having this bandana that he carried around, this blue bandana. And I found a road map, and it just seemed like the piece made itself, and I felt like I had help. Although when I finished it, it was tough. I had to go and do another piece that was very uplifting because this brought back a lot of memories. I found these books years ago. I was the artist and my brother was a writer, and so I would do the drawings and he would do the writings. And so this was one that says wrote by Billy Swaggerty, and then on the inside illustrated by Wendy. And he wrote Wendy, my sister always plays with him, and there I am on the couch playing with the kitten. So that's just a great memory that we had. I just remember the innocence, before everything got to be, out of control with the addiction. This was just a time when we were both really happy. Well, this photo was before he really started to use. So this is when he was truly himself. So he had been clean for 5 years before he picked up again, and when he picked up, I guess he went back to the amount of heroin that he was using, and it stopped his heart instantly. We were partners in crime. Yeah, and he was just a kind person. That's really what I want people to know about people that are struggling with addiction, is that they're people and they have stories, and they're not bad, they're good people. He did so many good things, and he just was a kind person. I wish he was here today, because just think of the things that we could do, considering things that he had done up to age 35. Think of what he would be doing now. And I miss having a brother. I wish I had a brother. Because, we were partners in crime when we were little.